monitor to us.
Freak what you heard.
Okay, welcome back to BT. Meredith, Devo, Brown,
Nice, Al.
Sitzik here with you.
The show.
So the Leafs lost last night. They're down 2-1 in their series against Boston. Game 4 goes Saturday night, 8 p.m. start, FYI, 8 p.m. Eastern start on Saturday. There's a lot we can talk about here, but the thing that's kind of bubbling to the surface with each passing hour since the game ended was the crowd. And there is some strong, significant voices inside of Leaf Nation who are saying it wasn't good enough last night. Specifically from a guy I've idolized and continued to, one of the great play-by-play people of all time, Joe Bowen, who was in the building last night. The three of us were not in the building last night, but Joe was. He tweeted this out, and the tweet is still on his timeline. The idea of going to any sporting event to support the home team is to be proactive. Give the team energy when they need it. Not sitting down waiting to be reactive. The players can't say it, but I will. Tonight's crowd was very disappointing. This has drawn plenty of reaction from a lot of corners. Meryl, I'll start with you because you're down there a lot. You're down there more than me. How much truth is in that, do you think?
Well, it's a reputation that the Leaf crowd kind of has, that we're not loud enough, you know, that we are a conservative crowd, that we're a judgmental crowd, that it takes something to happen on the ice to get anything going in the stands. Look, there's some truth to that. We want to see good hockey, and if we're not seeing it, we're not getting loud for it, and I think there's a little bit of that going on. In a playoff situation, I think it changes a bit. And as someone who just attended her first PWHL game and heard what an arena can sound like, I do think that there's something to be done in Leaf Nation, but I do think that the hockey has to warrant it.
Devo Brown, does the hockey have to warrant it?
I want to get your take on it first because I want to know, do you agree or disagree with this take of what Joe's saying? Because I agree with what I saw and heard last night, and I did bump into a bunch of people that were at the game, and they were disappointed in the crowd. And they said themselves, you know, it was weird. We were trying to start the Go Leafs Go chant and things like that, and it wasn't really happening. How many times did you hear that when the guys needed a bit of a rally? Having home ice advantage means you have an advantage of your crowd helping you get some energy and be loud. Now, does that make you play better? Maybe. Mentally, it can help. Because you know you're at home and you're in that comfort zone and everyone's, for the most part, cheering for you as opposed to being on the road. Does it mean that's the reason you lost the game? No. But the fans do need to. It's not the first time Joe said that. He said that back in October for the home opener when Montreal was in the building. He said the fans aren't there. There's that reputation of the executive, the white collar. And, you know, I kind of talked about it last week when or earlier this week when we were talking about the potential other team in the GTA coming around. There is that level and that reputation that we have of the corporate seats and the suits being in there, and they're not the ones there just having conversations about business maybe and not getting into it. The accessibility of the everyday fan is the ongoing conversation about being in that arena.
I got a big problem with this. I have a big problem with this because do you think he tweets that if they win? There's no way. In a million years, Joe Bowen doesn't tweet that.
But what he said, though, was everyone's reactive.
What he said,
so they're not...
What he said was that crowd affects the team. Okay?
That's what you're insinuating.
No, that's what he said. It gives energy to the team. There's more than an insinuation there. And half the team, like the 4 guys on that team make half the salary cap. If you need the crowd... Listen, again, I wasn't in the building last night. They were chanting "Go Leafs Go" right from the start of that hockey game last night. When Ryan Reeves and Simone Benoit started throwing their weight around.
They went up at the end of that first.
People got up. Sure. People got up. They got up for every goal. Now, did they get up for an 0-for-5 power play? Probably not. Did they get up when Marchand takes the lead again 25 seconds later in the third period? Probably not. And the problem I'm having is in this market, there are a lot of people who are so tied professionally to the team that they create straw men when things are going a little pear-shaped. And it's been my problem in this market for a long time. Who's saying Tavares needs to be better? Who's saying Marner needs more than 1 assist? Who's saying where was Matthews last night?
Oh, it's
Who's saying
the crowd.
where's Willie, for God's sakes? He missed another game.
Another game, yeah.
The straw men that get created in this market because people are afraid to rip what they're actually seeing is getting old to me. Home ice advantage in hockey does not exist. 16 teams in the playoffs last year, 4 had records at home above 500. 4. The Leafs were 1-5 last year at home in the postseason. That fan base has been abused for years in this market with garbage product, aside from like 4. And I'm not going to sit here and take that argument anymore. You want to talk about Marchand? You want to talk about the calls last night? You want to talk about Samsonov getting a little leaky at the end? I'm here for all of it. Leave that fan base in that building alone. The ticket prices are insane. I understand it's a bit more corporate crowd, but that's what you have cultivated. You have grown this like an egg at Jurassic Park since 1967. What do you think they're going to do? You think what was the crowd like at Real Sports?
Real Sports, the crowd was great. No,
the
it was
whole
fine.
thing, they were on their feet the whole game.
You're in a restaurant. You're not on your feet the whole
Exactly.
game. But there was, 2 tables beside me. They were on their feet the entire game.
It was a rowdy.
And there was the Go Leafs Go chants in a restaurant.
And there were Go Leafs Go chants in the building.
But not in the third period. I want you to go look at the 10-minute mark.
It was tense, yes,
Yeah,
no doubt.
10-minute mark.
It was tense.
That's when you need to be proactive.
please.
I agree with that.
Please.
I agree with that, proactive. Give the team some energy.
Give me
Go to a basketball
break.
game. You'll see that.
I'm not, listen, I understand
But
the argument, and I'm on an island
Yeah.
today. Devo, there's a lot of people that agree with you.
No, a lot of people agree with you. 100%
I'm not
they
hearing
do.
that today. Enough with the straw man argument. There are people scared that this is what it looks like it is. And this could go south again. And now all of a sudden there's new enemies. And I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
I don't know if they put them at enemies. The guys played
Really?
well last night.
The play-by-play
They
guy's
played
calling out the fan base.
very
Mayor,
well last night.
word to
They
you, Mayor.
did.
Happy
Last word.
playoffs,
Yes,
everybody.
this is what
Happy
happens.
playoffs. This is
Yeah.
what happens.
This is what sports
around the
does.
dinner table.
It brings us together.
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully the crowd can score 2 goals and get an assist on Saturday
Come
night.
on, no one's
Hopefully they
asking
can do
for that,
It just did
man.
it in a
Come
tweet.
on.
Tammy Sutherland has news coming up after this.
Sure does.
Oh,